like football, business moves fast. And when you need funding, there's no time to wait. At Fleximize, we keep things simple. No penalties, no red cards, just fast, flexible business loans. We only ask for the essentials and you'll get a decision within 24 hours. Once approved, the funds are in your account the same day. Fleximize, let's fund your goals.
Town fans, hello and welcome back to Matchday Live, stream on X, YouTube, Facebook and Town TV, proudly brought to you by our headline digital partner Fleximize, the UK's award-winning lender offering fast, flexible business loans. Fresh off a strong 2-0 win at Watford earlier this week, Kieran McKenna's men returned to Portman Road for the first time in 4 weeks after a busy run of away fixtures. The Blues' home form this season, well, it's been outstanding, hasn't it? And the supporters, as always, you've been brilliant. Behind the boys, Town will be aiming for another 3 points against the Swans today. We've got plenty lined up on the show as we count down to kick-off. We'll break down all the standout moments from that midweek win, take a trip back to on this day in 1981 during Sir Bobby Robson's era, and bring you our expert analysis and insight from our special guests. As always, we want you involved. Town fans, wherever you're watching from, send us your thoughts and predictions in the live chat for a chance to be featured on Town TV. So welcome everybody back to Portman Road finally. We are here, back at home, and joined as always by a couple of great guests. Welcome to Adam Tanner and welcome back to Ian Westlake. Guys, great to be back at Portman Road. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's been always good to come back here. The players will be really looking forward to getting back out in front of the home fans. Big gate again, and hoping to get our good run continuing after the good win against Watford.
Yeah, it was a good win, wasn't it, Westy? And home form's been good as well. I think confidence is quite high heading into this one today.
Yeah, really high. Like, we're a great side, and I'm hoping now that big win against Watford can sort of power us through the rest of the season, and we can kick-start it with a big win at home as well against Swansea.
Last home game was against Preston, 31st of January. It just doesn't feel right, does it? We've gone pretty much the whole of February. Okay, it's the 28th of February, but we've gone pretty much the whole of February without playing at Portman Road. What's going on?
Yeah, mad. It's a crazy fixture list of the Championship, but you know, we've had our time on the travels now, so Kieran and the lads will be really keen to get back onto home turf here and put on a good performance. You know, this is sort of business end of the season now. We can, you know, by stringing a few good results together, really makes a statement and pushes us into that top two.
Yeah, fingers crossed for another win for Ipswich Town today. Let's talk a little bit more about the build-up to the Swansea game. But firstly, we're going to watch back the Watford highlights. 2-0 win, of course, at Vicarage Road earlier in the week. Let's check out what happened.
The Blues have found life on the road difficult at times this season, and they will certainly be aiming to improve their away form during the final 2 months of the campaign. Left side, midway inside the Watford half, ball just taken away from him, and now Petris is going to be able to race away from Kipre. O'Shea chasing back, Petris is going to need to go alone, and he can't hit the target.
That's excellent defending from O'Shea there.
Pozzo family, here's Nunez. Now Neil, 20 yards out, poking it through towards Adon. Pollock with the challenge, but it's not a clean one. It's through the back of Ilan Adon. And Ipswich Town awarded a free kick inside the D. I wonder if it's one of those where he'll go keeper's side perhaps and just try and beat Selvik for pace. And he's actually trying to loop it over the wall. And it drops to Waller-Egley! And Waller-Egley fires it into the corner for his third Ipswich goal. It was sharp from the Norwegian. What a moment for him. And you have to say, it is a goal that has been coming. Ipswich have been in the ascendancy so far this evening. Nunez's free kick blocked away, but Waller-Egley, first time, too good for his compatriot Egil Selvik, 1-0. Gakia helping it infield. Kipre's broken the lines into Nunez. This might open up for the Chilean. It's Nunez! It's just wide! Bankwork given away, caught out by Jack Clark. Nunez squaring it to Adon. Wrexham 2, Portsmouth 1, and Southampton now 4-0 up at home against Queen's Park Rangers on the south coast. Here, Watford 0, Ipswich 1. And Jack Clark feeding it out to Wes Burns. Burns back to Clark. Clark stabbing it forward, might drop for Jacob Greaves inside the 6-yard box, helping it across goal. George Hurst is in there to score in front of the away fans. Ipswich double their lead, and it's George Hurst.
Well done, George Hurst. Well done.
Up against Christian Walton. It's Ince. It's saved by Walton, and Ipswich clear the rebound. Christian Walton getting down to his left. It wasn't a great penalty of the season. What a perfect platform to go into 3 consecutive home games. The final whistle has now blown.
Watford 0, Ipswich Town 2, and I think we'll all agree that was in some ways the perfect away performance, wasn't it? Town with a great high press, goals for the players you really wanted to get goals, a penalty save from Walton, a really impressive 3 points for Ipswich Town on the road.
Yeah, I think perfect away performance, really professional, soaked up a little bit of pressure but was never really at threat. I mean, I think if the penalty goes in, could have been an awkward 10 minutes, but credit to all the back four and Christian keeping a clean sheet. And as you say, 2 good goals and a goal for George Hurst, which he desperately needed.
If pre-match you were Kieran McKenna and someone said to you 2 players are going to score today, which 2 would you pick? You'd probably pick Waller-Egley and Hurst. He wouldn't need. I think those are two players that probably wanted a goal and got the goals, and I think that's important for their confidence and for the squad as well.
Yeah, really important for them. They both needed goals. I think Waller-Egley's being unfairly judged. He's a really young man, right? Well, you compare him to Amari, but he's younger than Amari. He's moved from a different country. He had a pre-season 3 months before we had our pre-season. They normally have a winter break in his country. He's had to learn the language. Like, he's had a really tough time. He's only a 19-year-old boy. I moved to Leeds at like mid-20s and found that difficult. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's difficult for him, okay? So he's outperformed where he should be. Like, he's a prospect, he's 19, we spent a lot of money on him, and he's going to be a great player. To score away from home will be really good for him.
I think that's one of my favourite moments from you on Town TV, comparing moving country to moving up to Leeds West. I love that.
You should move to Leeds, it's tough up there, I tell you.
More of that, I love it. And listen, what a composed finish as well. I mean, you don't have much time to think about that. It's over an awkward angle, he's hit the ball into the ground, and a smart finish, and you know, the guy's got goals in him, isn't he? I think we know that about Waller-Egley. There's goals, there's more goals to come from him, I feel.
Yeah, he's young, isn't he, right? It's easy to snatch at that one. You just hit it as hard as you can, it flies over the bar, and everyone goes, oh, he's missed a big chance. And he doesn't, he's really calm, he hits it into the ground, wet service, Tuesday night, skids off, past the goalie before he can even react. So yeah, smart finish, really good.
Dan Neil with his championship start for Ipswich, he's looking very good as well, isn't he? Obviously one of the January editions. What did you make of his performance?
Yeah, solid. You know, he's obviously a good professional. You know, he's captain of Sunderland last season when they went up, so we know he's an experienced operator. Gives you a cool head in midfield. Him and Azor, you know, will form a good partnership now, I think, between now and the end of the season. He's a safe pair of hands. You know, I think Kieran can trust him to put in a real good, solid solid 7.5, 8 out of 10 every game.
Yeah, I think that's a fair way of putting it. And I think you probably might have seen it on social media. There was the cameras in the team huddle. That's been a bit of a feature on the town socials. I've loved that. And you'll have seen our captain, of course, Dara O'Shea, saying, listen, we need to bounce back. And how important do you think it was to set their tone? And how cool is it to see that insight where you get a little view into the team huddle? The cameras are there just before they're getting underway. Did you like that, Westy? Did you see it?
I did see it. I loved it. I like any insight. I like all the stuff where you see bits of the players, you get to know them as people. We all know they're good players, but what are they like? And to see him sort of really taking hold of it, leading it, it was brilliant. And the performance was great, but it's now, can we back it up at home? And there's so much of the season left to go. Like you said earlier, it's brilliant that George Hurst scored. I think the team throughout looked really, really good at the moment. If our two strikers, one of them has a little purple patch, carries us over the line, I think they're the two that are going to make a big difference. And I like that Azon's back in. I think he looks great.
This is the time of the season you really want to hit form, isn't it? With pretty much a quarter of the season still left to play. Let's take a look back at the town goals. We've spoken about them enough, and we're going to have a little bit more of a look at them. Well, I mean, listen, Marcelino Nunes, great set-piece taker. And then, of course, we spoke about that reaction from Wally Egley. And there you go, the knee slide. Good knee slide, that, by the way, as well.
Beautiful knee slide, yeah, good one, that.
We've heard Westy's thoughts on the goal. Adam, what do you make of that?
Yeah, very similar. You know, it's come to him at a difficult angle. He's not slashed at it. It's more of a controlled finish into the ground. And just what he needed. I agree with everything that Westy said about Wally Egley.
What about that finish from George Hurst, by the way? That's not easy to do. It's a reaction finish. For his first touch of the game, chest it in. Sometimes the harder ones are the ones that don't necessarily look as spectacular. Tough goal, that one, to score, and a brilliant moment for George Hurst.
Yeah, it's just having a bright mind, really. He's switched on, isn't he? It comes to him quick. Do you chest it down? Do you take a touch? No, just uses his body to deflect it into the goal. Like you say, smart goal, and just what George needs, and in front of the fans as well. I think his connection with the fans is growing. To score in front of them away from home, they're like lively fans away from home. It was a great reaction.
Well, and just a word on the fans, which we can obviously see on our screens now. They've always been good at Watford, haven't they? The away fans have always travelled well to Watford, but I was watching on TV and it was so loud. It was a really good atmosphere. I can't imagine what it was like to have been there, but to hear them on TV, drowning out the Watford fans, town away fans, got to be spoken about as amongst some of the best in the country. You've got to agree with me on that.
Yeah, 100% they are. They travel up and down the country in their numbers supporting the team, and probably the away fans are a little bit more vociferous than the home fans at times, but yeah, credit to every single one that makes the travels week in, week out, and they're always behind the team, you know, win, lose or draw. I'd bet the majority of them have been to most of the away games this season, and I too watched it on telly, and I testament to what you said, that could really hear the loudness and the support they gave the boys.
We've spoken a bit about Town's attacking options, but actually we haven't really mentioned Christian Walton, who has had another phenomenal game. He commands his box, he looks good playing out from the back with his feet, and is saving a penalty when needed. As you mentioned there, Adam, earlier, it could have changed the game had that have gone in. Westy, what have you made of his sort of, you know, inauguration back into the team? He had to wait, didn't he? He had to wait for Palmer to get the injury, and then he's looked solid since coming back in.
Yeah, he's looked great, and he's coming off the back of conceding 5 at Wrexham. Yeah, so that's a big, like, mentally that's tough. As a goalkeeper, you hate conceding goals, and he's gone and kept a clean sheet straight off the back of conceding 5, so it's a huge positive. Like, I think it's one of those where if you concede the penalty and the pressure gets on you, it could build, but he stands up, makes a really big save. He actually makes a wonderful save where he actually takes it in the face, but he stands up really big, and he doesn't go down early, and it stops another goal. So
we'll actually see that one in a moment.
Performance
it reminds me of a story that George Hurst told about Kieran Slicker when in training, point blank range, he hit Slicker in the face and was like, "Slicks, you okay?" And he was like, "Oh no, I'm fine, I love it, do it again." Like, goalkeepers are a different breed, aren't they? And we'll see the penalty save, and then we'll talk a bit more about that point-blank face save from Walton. That's part of being a keeper. They're a different breed, aren't they?
They're completely crazy, yeah. I mean, I've played with a number that they are a different breed. But Christian, I think the big improvement I've seen is his confidence with the ball at his feet. Before this season, this is the one he gets in the face. But he has to stand there, he has to be brave, and he has to take one for the team, and that to him is just as important as a goal. You know, for the team, you can see all the lads there patting him on the back. That's brilliant for him, brilliant for his confidence. As Westy said, after conceding 5 at Wrexham, through no fault of his own, question marks would have been asked. But for him to stay in the team and put a performance like that was absolutely brilliant.
We'll add it to the list of what you would have hoped to have happened that match. Egley getting the goal, of course, Hursty, and then Walton saving a penalty. We'll take all three of those. Brilliant from all three of those lads. Just on final moment, because we're going to move on in a second, but with saving the ball point blank to your face like that, obviously neither of you two are goalkeepers, but you've worked with enough goalkeepers over time to have a good insight into this. Do you have to train your instincts to not flinch and not back away when balls are flying into your face like that? Is it something you can kind of learn to turn off, if you like?
I think it goes along with it. They're all absolutely nuts. They don't really care. They'll do anything they can do to keep the ball out of the net. And part of defending is being brave, putting your body on the line, and that's all part and parcel of being a keeper and a defender.
We've spoken a fair bit about Jack Clark this season because he's having a brilliant season, isn't he? Town's leading goal scorer. I think it's 12 goals he's scored now, isn't he? He's not actually starting today, but we're going to take a look back at some of his goals because Westy's been brilliant, isn't he? Clark is one of our standout players this season, without doubt.
Yeah, just superb. He's had to wait for his chance as well. He's dipped in and out with Philogene form, but Philogene's been injured recently, and he's been absolute top class. He drops in and takes the ball at left back at times. Whenever you see him drift inside, you fancy him curling one to that back post, don't you? He's really, really good. And he also comes in with loads of assists. That's the other thing I love about him. He's not just a player who scored goals. He assists the team. He takes pressure off the team when we want to get higher up the pitch. And I've got to say, he's one of our most complete players.
He certainly is. This is a bit of a treat for you, Town fans. All 12 of Jack Clark's goals coming right up.
It's Clark, it's into the corner, flat high into the net. Ipswich are level. From range from 35 yards. And Clark in the box now, and Clark makes it 5! Clark into the back of the net, down the middle. Nunez might spot the run of Adon. Adon is through here. Adon! Yes! Puts it wide, it's off the boy! Clark is there on the rebound! It's 3-1! And surely 16 years of hurt are over. Is that the goal that ends the hoodoo?
Matchday comes away with it on the edge of the area. Opportunity, fine save. Clark with the follow-up, and that is the opener. It's just been starting to come, and Jack Clark pounces. Ipswich 1, West Bromwich Albion 0.
Tackle. Clark has it once more. Clark goes for goal and finds the bottom corner. Jack Clark with a beauty in Wales gives Ipswich Town the lead. And now looks to release Jack Clark. It's a great ball from Matasiwa. Clark approaching the penalty area. Clark into the box now, trying to take it beyond Otegbayo. And surely wrapping up the points for Ipswich Town. And Nunez has it once more. And here he is lifting it towards Jack Clark, who's in space inside the penalty area. It's Clark, it's blocked by Wolverton, but it's in the back of the net. And Jack Clark has the opener for Ipswich at the CBS Arena. Hughes will attempt to go through the middle here as he turns and now releases Clark, left side, Clark into the penalty area, racing at Tanner, brilliant! That left side for Ipswich Town doing the damage again! And Adon can shrug off Dickey, and Adon is inside the penalty area, cutting it back for Clark, and Clark makes it 2! Ipswich Town do get that second goal! Up against Michael Cooper, it's Clark, it's off the post and it's in! Here is Jack Clark trying to find a shot on that right foot. Is he found? Yes, he down. Penalty. It's Clark. It's in. 1-1.
What a treat that is. Great fun watching back Jack Clark's goals so far this season. He's up to 12. But listen, we've spoken a little bit about it already. Jack Clark's more than just goals, isn't he? He gets forward, he makes gaps, he's unpredictable, gets in the box well, and he's very much a kind of an all-round attacking player, isn't he? Goals, assists and creativity, which is what you want to see.
Yeah, he's been brilliant this season, and I think he's playing with a lot of confidence now. You know, he was coming on when Philogene was starting on the left. They both seem to favour that side, but I think with Jack Clark, what he does, he affects the game. Every game, he does something to affect it, whether it's a goal, an assist, or a bit of play. He works incredibly hard. You know, for an attacking player, he doesn't mind putting his fair share of shifts in to help the defence, and then with the ball, taking it further up the pitch to relieve pressure. So he's been absolutely brilliant this season, and the goals are a testament to his play.
And he's stepped up as well, I feel, since Jayden Philogene has been injured. He's looked, I think, a better better player. I mean, his definitely performances seem to have improved, and I feel like we're just seeing more and more from Jack Clarke at the minute.
Yeah, I agree. The best thing I think I like about him is his ball carrying. There's so many players now that want to play two-touch and pass the ball, but he wants the ball and he wants to travel with it, wins penalties. He's got a nice link back to Tony Mowbray, one of the club legends. Mogger gave him his debut at Sunderland and brought him through, played him all over the pitch, said he's just a talent, and he used to give him the freedom to go and roam. He's slightly more restricted with us, does play off that channel, but it is nice. He does pop up all over it and just get on the ball and create things. Probably, our most exciting player to watch at times.
Takes a good penalty as well, which, you can't say enough about that. He's popped up with some really important penalties towards the end of matches as well. And listen, Jayden Philogene will obviously come back into Kieran McKenna's plans once he's fit, and that presents Kieran McKenna with a good problem to have, doesn't it? Because Jack Clarke's in great form. Jayden Philogene looks like an incredible goal scorer from the left wing. He's caused a lot of problems to defences in the Championship this season. That's going to be a good problem for Kieran McKenna to have, but one he's going to have to solve when Philogene's fit again.
He will do, yeah, and it is a lovely problem for him to have, but that's what Kieran's paid his money to do, to sort of get the best 11 on the pitch. And if that means the best 11 does involve Jack and Jayden, then it's Kieran's job to get them in the team. But I mean, it's brilliant that we've got two top quality performers scoring a lot of goals. But at the end of the day, having Jayden back is going to be a major plus for us.
It certainly is. We miss him, and hopefully he'll be back in Kieran McKenna's lineups before too long. Good luck with your recovery from injury, Jayden. Town have got some great attacking options, haven't they? Obviously George Hurst now back on the score sheet. Hopefully we start to see him getting more and more goals. The confidence will hopefully come back, and even Athon as well is looking pretty good at the minute, isn't he? He's starting to hit form, and you mentioned if one of these players starts to hit a purple patch, that could be, hopefully what pushes us over the line in the final quarter of the season. A striker really hitting that purple patch at the important part of the season. That's what we're all hoping is going to happen now, isn't it?
Yeah, they're both great players, and they've sort of dovetailed well. One will do 70 minutes and then one will come on. Sometimes there's a lot of talk about finishers now, and in our day you'd never want to come on and just play the last 20 minutes. But now there's a lot of talk about it, and more teams have them. And it was George the other night at Watford, came, got the second goal, secured the victory. Azon gets his start again today, will work tirelessly because he really puts a shift in. And it might be George who comes on and then gets the goals towards the end and gets all the glory, but it's the work that the two of them are putting in as a pair, and it's clever how they're rotating them.
And the system that Kieran McKenna plays, obviously with one up top, it's a different role for a striker than perhaps you might have seen in years gone by with 4-4-2 when you've got another striker to link up with. It's a different role, isn't it? There's a lot of hold-up play, bringing other players into the system as well. It's a difficult job as well, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it's probably a completely different role to when me and Wesley were playing, but it's sort of a lot of unselfish work that they have to do. They get battered by the two centre-halves. They do a lot of the ugly work to bring the others into play. I'm sure that sort of work doesn't go unnoticed by the other players, and obviously Kieran. He does like to play with that focal point through the middle. But every striker wants to score goals. They won't be happy just being up there, just being a focal point. And for George to get one off his chest, so to speak, he's good, and can only help his confidence.
As a manager, do you feel like you want to have a variety of options from strikers? Because, listen, we had Liam Delap last season, very physical, wasn't he? Got lots of goals as well, and he's obviously been a physical presence in the matches he's played for Chelsea as well. Hurst is quite physical. Azon, maybe you could say, is a bit more technical. You want that variety as a manager, don't you? Because it's going to be different for each match, depending on the centre-backs, for example, you're playing against.
Yeah, it is, but you generally pick players that you trust and that you understand. So he'll have a system. He wants someone up there that's prepared to run the channels, prepared to hold someone off and connect the game. And they both do it well. They do it in sort of different styles. Azon is a low centre of gravity, holds the ball up, can hold possession well and does link, but he also runs in behind. George does the same, stretches the game. But the thing this season is we've played a lot against a low block, and there hasn't been spaces for either of them to get in behind. The chances have been half chances at best, and they just haven't gone in this season. Hopefully towards the end of the season they can.
And just finally, what have you made of sort of Town's midfield contributions as well, like to Wes Byrne getting forward, Jens Kajustas, former midfielders yourselves? What has been your sort of take on Town's midfield options and then the attacking options that they give Kieran McKenna?
Yeah, well, excuse me. I mean, the consistent one is Matasiwa. He's been in there as the pivot, and then he sort of mixed it up with Jack Taylor and Kajus stayed in there. But yeah, I mean, obviously they would want probably a little bit more goal threat from both of them. They could probably improve their goal tally. The wide areas, we're blessed really with a number of options. You're talking about Wes coming back in today. We've got McAteer on the bench. You've got lots of options there. But overall, the midfield is getting that blend. And I go back to when we done our two promotion seasons. He had sort of Mass and Morsey in there. So maybe you're going back to that sort of style with Dan Neil coming in, who's more of a sitter, maybe along Sorazor, taking a bit of pressure off him and allowing our forward players to express themselves.
Yeah, we're liking what we're seeing with that Dan Neil and Azor Matasiwa combination against Watford. You know, almost like that N'Golo Conte type of player that's everywhere. Doesn't necessarily score lots of goals, but just gives you such a strength in midfield. Is that something you might think Kieran might explore a little bit more, that partnership of Dan Neil and Azor Matasiwa?
Yeah,
it's loud in here, sorry Westy.
It's fine. It's a really strong base, isn't it? You set up with those two. Also, that gives the licence to your Leaf Davises to bomb forward because you've got real protection with two midfielders that are deeper. For me, Nunez for the last month has been a massive miss. We got him in the other night and I thought he was terrific. Like, he has passes, he has range of passes, he has set pieces. He actually makes really unselfish movement to let other players get in, links the game well. He's like our little creative, little something a bit spicy, a little bit different. And if he can add goals, which I think is the one thing, apart from his set-piece goals, if he can add goals from open play, he could be a real key from now to the end of the season as well.
I don't know about you guys, but I have missed the noise and the buzz around Portman Road. It really is great to be back here at Portman Road. We're going to go back in time now, 25 years, back to 1981. What a season that was. Town were chasing the treble. In the end, they only won the UEFA Cup, but I think we'll still take that. Town playing against Coventry on this day in 1981, and it was a 4-0 victory. Let's watch back the highlights and remind ourselves of some of the Town legends playing in that game.
Here's Gates. Here's McCall. Here's Tyson, the dribbler. Mariner. Brazil! 1-0 to Ipswich. Alan Brazil, the scorer. And Brian Roberts for Coventry. Header by Osman. Gates has begun a run through the centre here. Oh, he was well found too, and oh, here's Gates. Number 2 is it? It is. 2 minutes into the second half, and Eric Gates has scored the second goal for Ipswich. Gates, Roberts, Thompson. Left it for Hunt. Oh, they've won it back again. Osman's up there. And so is McCall. Oh, what a tremendous goal! Steve McCall and John Walk, who's injured today and whose place he took, will have sat back and admired that like the rest of us. So Mariner and Butcher taking up the near post positions on this corner to be taken by Gates. Tyson's there as well. Short to him, here's Gates again. Osman's in there. Oh, and Steely's made a bad mistake, and it's 4.
Town 4, Coventry 0, back in 1981, which Westy and Adam have made me aware that it wasn't 25 years ago, it was 45 years ago, so apologies for the bad math there, but some real legends in that match either way, and great to watch back. Town, I think, arguably one of the best teams in the world back then, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, that's when I was 8 then, so I grew up watching there was my team, who I supported, and the household names just rolled off the tongue. We saw there Alan Brazil, Russell Osman, Steve McCall, Walkie, you know what I mean? They were a brilliant team. Really unlucky that year to miss out on the old First Division, and they won the UEFA Cup. But they're real legends of the club, and they're still lauded here today, and rightly so.
Yeah, one of just a few English teams to have won a European trophy still, aren't they, with that amazing home record as well. I think it's important to keep reflecting back on the history that this football club has. Not many clubs have the history we have. Legends have played for this club. 2 of the best ever managers, and Kieran McKenna, add that to the list. George, it's a club with so much history, isn't it, Westy?
Yeah, incredible history. It's beautiful watching those back. Steve McCall smashing one in top corner. Steve McCall, I don't remember as a player, but he was a coach, so he coached me at 15, 16, so it's lovely to see. I hadn't seen that goal before. It was awesome to see. Yeah, I think we do appreciate our history here. I think that's one thing like the club does really well. Like, since the new owners come in, since Mark Ashton's got in charge and sorted everything out, like, the club's just gone strength to strength, and I still do think we reflect. We have really nice players that come back for the old players' dues and things, and it's done really well.
And I love the way you summarised it, but it does kind of feel a bit like that sorted everything out. Like, the place has had a spruce up, hasn't it? The training ground, the ground itself is almost unrecognisable to what it was 5 to 10 years ago, and these are some of the memories, aren't they, that we have been building over the past 2, 3, 4 years. Kieran McKenna obviously coming in, getting Town promoted from League One. Those are 6 men that I think we will all love for the rest of our lives, because what memories they've given the young Town fans, the old Town fans, the old players like yourselves. It's been a brilliant few years, hasn't it?
Unbelievable, and you know, testament to the ownership group and Mark Ashton, because when they came in, I mean, they couldn't have foreseen what happened in the immediate future there. But you know, they're not resting on their laurels. You know, they're not sitting down. We've got an amazing training ground being built. You know, fantastic improvements around the ground here, but they're not resting. They want to be a Premier League club, and they want to be a stable Premier League club, and so they'll keep going. And we're really, really lucky to have them.
When they say that this is the start of the journey still, that's what gets me excited, because if this is the start and we're seeing images like this, we've now got like what's to come, the training ground, you get that up and running. It's incredible. I've been up there and seen it sort of semi-built at the moment. If you want to attract the right players, the next calibre of players, you're going to need a training ground to house them in, right? So that's going to be there for them. And the other thing that we're doing better than I think nearly any club at the moment is the community work. So you can't have 30,000 every week, and if we're going to go again on the stadium, 40,000, if we can't have that without the connection with the fans. So you get out in the community, young, old, everyone is involved in the club. And you used to walk around town and you'd see Man United shirts, Man City shirts. You see Ipswich shirts now? So like the whole town is behind it, the whole county's behind it, and if we can get that vibe going and get more people here, it just goes from strength to strength, right?
The town foundation has been superb, hasn't it? And of course, attracting the younger fans has been something the club have worked hard at. And I mean, it's hard not to support this club, isn't it? They're just doing everything right. So long may it continue. Everything about this club shouts Premier League, doesn't it? And listen, Town in a very good position. Win the 2 games in hand, we're up into second. You can't ask for much more than that heading into the final quarter of the season.
All we can ask for is a presenter that can do his maths. Apart from that, we're pretty good.
Curly's on in the next week, so hopefully we'll get one on Tuesday. But listen, jokes aside, I think we can all feel good about the club that we work with, that we support, that you former players. The feel-good factor's back, and that's something we should all just enjoy, I think, as well.
Yeah, definitely. You know, there was a number of years where it was sort of very down and the crowds were really low, and then, as I said earlier, the ownership group have come in and they've really gone for it. You know, Mark Ashton is the leader, obviously, and it's credit to him how he operates around the club. But you know, they're not going to rest. They're going to keep going and going until we are an established Premier League club. And I think it's one of them. You know, if there'll be a few stragglers on the wayside, they'll go. You know, if you're not with him and you're not with the club, then that's fine. They'll just move on, and that's the only way to be. And football is Westia Terry. Football is a cutthroat business. It's ruthless. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's the only way to be, and it's the only way to be successful.
Yeah, it certainly is cutthroat, isn't it? And just on the word of Mark Ashton and the attention to detail he has, he comes on match days, walks around the pitch, and you can see him looking at the pitch, picking bits up off the grass. He runs a tight ship, doesn't he? And I think that's the mentality. You kind of briefly touched upon it a moment ago about what it is that excites you the most. You said, well, listen, the journey's only just begun. Would you summarise that as being the thing that excites you the most at the moment, Westy?
Definitely, and unfortunately, like, we live in a world where money's quite important, right? The investment is incredible. Like the training ground, you go in the offices, even the offices here, we used to have offices, I don't know, for people who don't get the privilege to come inside the club. Every office was separate, so you had all the different departments all over the place. He's brought everyone together, so then now there's this unbelievable new office. It looks a bit like you see on an Apple TV, sort of what like Apple would have in their offices. All we need is a few bean bags and people lying down, you'd be there. But no, it's brilliant, everyone's together, and it's like it's the investment and how have used the money really well. And they found Kieran, right? And as much as all the other things are great, finding a brilliant manager to take us on this journey is really important, and finding him was another key moment for me.
Yeah, Kieran McKenna has done a fantastic job. One of the best parts of the matchday experience is the fan zone. We've not spoken about it much today, so let's head out to our fan zone reporter, Dave Fan, who is there to hoover up the vibe for us. Over to you, Dave.
Did you see Wally Egley's goal on Tuesday? Oh my goodness, send it in, one bounce, turn, volley, back. Oh, well, it's not quite the same, but Kieran McKenna, what a strike. We're back in the fan zone, and we want to know what supporters' favourite goals of the season are so far. It's set to be a good one. Will, let's go. Come on then. Okay, we've got 3 Town fans here. What has been your favourite goal so far of the season?
Westburn's.
Okay, nice.
Jaden Philogene against Norwich.
Fantastic goal, that.
Nunez free kick at the top.
Favourite goal so far this season?
Jaden Philogene.
Yeah.
First goal against Sheffield United.
Gosh, we love to hear that. Upper Town, guys, have a great day. Here we go. We got another die-hard Town fan here. What's your name, please, mate?
Harry.
Favourite goal so far this season? Let's hear it.
Philogene, Norwich.
Woo! Oh, what a strike. Enjoying your food? Yeah. That does look wonderful. Can I have one? Actually, I can't. I'm working. I'll be back in a minute. Cheers, mate. We're now here with Blake, Fan Zone presenter. Blake, what's been your favourite goal so far this season?
It's tough to pick. But off the top of my head, got to be Jaden Philogene, Norwich. What an incredible goal. I mean, I think me and you were going mental when that in.
Absolutely
so, yeah,
crazy.
No, definitely.
Unreal goal. Enjoying being in the Fan Zone?
I love it, mate.
It's been a good season,
It gets better every time I'm here. Meet new people, meet like-minded people. Yeah. You know, it's such a lovely community in here. I love it. Absolutely love it.
If you don't do it already, get on down to the Fan Zone pre-match. Cheers, Blake. Have a great game. Here we go. A little bit behind the scenes for you guys. Whenever I walk out of the Fan Zone, these three stewards here always ask me, what's the score going to be today? Well, do you know what? It's my turn to ask you. What's the score going to be today, guys?
4-1.
4-1.
Oh, I was going to go for 3-2.
3-2.
Sorry.
Okay.
3-1.
3-1. Fantastic. Thanks so much, guys. Well, there you have it, JT. What a game this is set to be. My score prediction, I'm going to say 2-0 to the Super Blues. Back to you in the gantry. Upper Town, here we go.
Great to see you back out there. Dave Van in the Fan Zone. You'll hear his voice echoing around the stadium as we build up to kick-off here at home to Swansea City. Just over 25 minutes until Ipswich Town kick off. Let's remind ourselves of the last time we played Swansea at the Liberty Stadium earlier this season. That was a fun one, wasn't it? 4-1 victory. Let's remind ourselves of those highlights now.
It's a trip to Wales for Ipswich Town this afternoon as the Blues face Swansea City in the Sky Bet Championship. Gonzalo Franco trying to bring the ball forward. O'Shea with the tackle. Clark has it once more. Clark goes for goal and finds the bottom corner. Jack Clark with a beauty in Wales gives Ipswich Town the lead. They're attacking third, but they might have an opportunity to do so here. Cullen, Timon cutting it back for Anusa, misses his kick. Franco equalises for Swansea.
We're happy going toe-to-toe and we just leave ourselves open.
Clark has stolen it midfield, huge space for Leif Davis, into the box now. It's Davis, it's deflected in off Burgess. Leif Davis restores Ipswich Town's lead. Timon over it as well. It will be Yon to deliver towards the 6-yard box, and it's a fantastic save, a miraculous save from Walton. Nunez with the corner from the far side towards O'Shea. Smart save by Bigaroo, and Adon turns it home. Ivan Adon with a goal that he has been desperate for in an Ipswich shirt.
We'll say it when they score again.
You're nearly there. Adon on halfway. Releasing Cayusta. Is that forthcoming now? Cayusta across the box and in. And it's off Cameron Burgess again with the corner from this near side. It'll be an outswinger from the South Korean, and it comes. It's headed away by Akpom. The full-time whistle blows, and what a way to sign off ahead of the international break.
Swansea 1, Ipswich Town 4. More of that today, please, lads. Some big moments in that game as well, weren't there? Zon with his first Ipswich Town goal, Clark with a great goal from outside the box. I feel like that was a really important home win and the start of Ipswich Town starting to climb the table, wasn't it? A big 4-1 win that earlier in the season.
Yeah, it was just before the international break as well, and it's really good to have a good solid performance and win away from home. You know, at the time I think Swansea were doing better than they are now, but yeah, really good to see Clark. That was a really positive finish from him. Azon scored as well. Obviously Burgess getting 2 own goals, you know, very unfortunate for him, but obviously we'll take it.
And that was before the addition of Snoop Dogg to their behind-the-scenes team. I think he's a co-owner, an investor. You've been very excited about this one, haven't you, Westy?
Yeah, I know nothing about this. You sprung this on me. I actually am a big Snoop Dogg fan. I like Snoop Dogg. I like when he pops up at the Olympics.
Well, he's popping up at Swansea. I don't think he's here today, but yeah, there was. You saw all the scenes when he was announced to the fans.
He's no Ed Sheeran.
He's no Ed Sheeran. Listen, you've got Snoop Dogg, we've got Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
But you know, listen, it's the way football's going these days. Investments coming from all different places, and the profile of the sport is raising. So you know, the World Cup in the US next year, and lots of people are getting involved, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I know no idea what the connection is with Snoop Dogg and Swansea, but he's on. You know, with the investment maybe coming in, you know, they've attracted some big players. You know, obviously Burgess has left here to go there, and it wouldn't have been for the size of the club. So they've obviously got some investment.
Ryan Reynolds 1 week, Snoop Dogg the next, but like you said, we've got Ed Sheeran and we'll take that. I think he's the best out of the 3. Listen, Hopefully momentum can start to build now. A good win against Watford. I fancy us at home against Swansea, but it might be a tough game, this one. Thoughts on this one as we start to build up to the home game against Swansea today?
Yeah, they're in the top 5 for form in the league since this manager's come in. The manager's sort of ex-Liverpool, did some time in Germany as well. Like, he's very rock and roll football. He's in the Klopp sort of style, and he's known for a really high press, really high tempo. So if he brings that here, we haven't played against that ever this season. We've played against a lot of teams that have been scared of us and come in the low block. So it might be quite a different game to what we're used to seeing. It might be a bit more open, and I'm looking forward to this one, but it's not the walkover it looks on paper. This is a tough game today. It's going to be really tough.
Kieran referred to this in his pre-match press as a top-tier test, and given Swansea's form, and listen, we're one of the best teams in the league. I think that's probably a fair shout, isn't it? It's a very top-tier fixture about this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's no cliche, but there's no easy games in this league. You know, so we'd have to be on our mettle and be prepared for a tough game. Every single game between now and the end of the season is like a cup final. You know, we got to be on our A game, especially at home. We've got 3 home games now. We can come out with 9 points. That makes a massive statement. So winning today will put a real good foundation for that run.
It's so good to be back at Portman Road, but it does feel like now, at this point of the season, it's a case of each game at a time. You get to that point where you don't look too far ahead. You just got to beat the team in front of you. Listen, we'll take a scrappy 2-1 today. We'll take a 1-0. We'll take what we can get. It's about the 3 points. It's about winning matches, and it's about keeping the pressure on the teams above us, because that's what we've got to keep doing between now and the end of the season.
That's what we'll say, but if you listen to Kieran, he's the same he's been since he was in League One, since we were in the Championship last time. It's one game at a time, it's sort the performance out and the result takes care of itself. His messaging is so clear and so consistent, and although we can get excited about points and all of these things, like, his message is really clear. We turn up, we play our football, we put a performance in, and the result looks after itself. And I really just want to look at the performance today, and if we put a good one in, I think we'll get the points.
Leaf back in the playing squad. We've spoken about Jaden Philogene not being back in the playing squad. Listen, players will come in and out of Kieran McKenna's plans between now and the end of the season, but the squad is there, and the players that have been called upon have been so impressive when they've come back into the team. We've spoken about Wes Burns and the impact he's had coming back into the team. You've just got to be ready, haven't you, in the Kieran McKenna squad, because you could be called upon at any moment.
Yeah, I've said it numerous times throughout the season. The squad depth is our biggest strength, and Kieran utilises that. You know, he makes quite a few changes. If he doesn't make them at the start of the game from the previous one, he'll definitely make quite a few throughout the game. So being part of the squad and being ready, you know, it's really important, and he'll know that every player he calls upon, he's ready to go.
And listen, the run-in is pretty much on its way now, isn't it? We are into that final quarter of the season. How are you guys sort of feeling? We're in a good position. Those games in hand are almost a bit annoying, aren't they? You'd rather have the points on the board, wouldn't you? Because it sort of takes away a little bit of the pressure on those top 2, but still in a very, very good position, and automatic promotion absolutely is the aim of the game.
Yeah, the squad's in incredible shape. So we've had loads of problems with injuries over the last few seasons and some dips. Well, we haven't got that this year because he's rotated and he's used the squad well. The squad looks really healthy. We've got lots of players that can score goals from wide players. I still think if those 2 strikers can hit some form, we get something out of those 2, that's going to be our big thing from now to the end of the season. And these 3 home games, they're really important. Like there's a lot of pressure on the team, I know, but these 3 home games, I'd love us to come away with lots of points and big performances, and that will really kickstart us. And after that, I think we can really push on.
Well, the noise levels are rising to fever pitch here at Portman Road, that being one of the loudest grounds in the country, in my opinion. Let's take a look at Ipswich Town's lineup. We've spoken a bit about it already, but there it is. Walton Davis back in the squad, of course. Kit Prematasiwa, Neil once again starting. Burns, Furlong, O'Shea, Adon, Nunez and Mehmeti. Thoughts on Town's starting lineup, chaps? Jack Clark on the bench. I think that's probably one sort of obvious sort of change from Watford, but thoughts on that starting lineup, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, the headline is Jack not starting, but again, we go on Kieran's judgment. Mehmeti coming in, he was really lively in the 10, but I think we've already alluded, Nunez seems to be our number 1 choice in that position. So we're really lucky to have another good top quality left-sided player to play there. Leaf coming back in, I think that was nailed on. You know, he's our number 1 left back. Jacob Greaves done fantastic, but he really is a centre-back. As well as he done, Leith offers something a little bit different going forward. I think at home that was always going to happen.
I think Jacob Greaves was one of the most impressive sort of stand-ins against Watford, wasn't he? Coming in and covering for Leith and really playing well. And again, we're just talking about the options that Kieran McKenna's got. You know, Jack Clark, drop him to the bench. I'm sure he'll play, but that's the thing that Kieran McKenna's done so well, is rotating.
Yeah, on the Greaves thing, I thought he was excellent at Watford. Really good defensively, but also he assists the goal for George Hurst, right? Yeah. It's his cross that George deflects in, so he's up there at the end of the game. You think of his fitness levels, since he hasn't played much, that he's still up there really late on, putting a ball in for George to score, so that was superb. And for me, Mehmeti's excited. I think he's looked great in the 10, but like you say, Nunez definitely holds down the 10 spot, so Mehmeti's going to go and play off that left-hand side. And the big one for me is Leif Davis, brilliant relationship with Philogene, brilliant relationship with Clark. Can he now strike up a third relationship with Mehmeti, and can he still find his little overlaps, underlaps, and the little links of play with his left winger? Because our left side is where it all happens for this Ipswich Town team. Do you know what I mean? Like, it really is where magic happens. So we now need a new relationship between Leif and Mehmeti, so hopefully that will be exciting.
Listen, if anyone can do it, it is Leif Davis. Been one of the most consistent performers over the time, the past few years, when Kieran McKenna's obviously been a manager, and long may it continue. Do you think perhaps maybe Kieran McKenna sometimes holds back some of his attacking options so that he can change matches later on if we need it? Is he maybe sometimes thinking, I'll keep Jack Clark on the bench in case I need to throw him on with fresh legs later on in the match?
Yeah, it's not a bad shout. So the way we play against teams when we dominate possession, sometimes it's a war of attrition. So we wear teams down, and you bring on those bright, quick players towards the end of the game, powerful players like George Hurst, like Clark. They could maybe, if it's a tight game for the last 20, just completely flip it on its head and get the goals that we need. So yeah, it's something that he definitely looks at. And we also have to think we've got another game on Tuesday. And Clark's played a lot of football recently. We play Hull, who are on the same points as us. So although you always look at the game that you're playing next, there is that other one in nagging going. We really need Clark on Tuesday as well.
Massive game now. Well, let's take a look at the subs bench. Adam, we'll get your thoughts now. We've spoken about quite a few of the players already, but there it is. Wally Egley, Hurst, Kiyuste, Taylor Mack. I mean, listen, you could name every player on that bench. They could have an impact this game, obviously. Probably Palmer won't come on unless Walter's injured, but there's a lot of options for Kieran McKenna there.
Yeah, I think there's an argument. You could probably say every one of them could start. You know what I mean? And that's really reassuring for Kieran. You know, any point of the game he can turn around, look at his bench and think, right, he can trust every single one of those. You know, so I think Wesley made a really good point with Jack Clark. He's played a lot more football than he had done previously in the season, and we've got a massive game against Hull, but I definitely think we'll see him at some point today.
Yeah, I think part of it is just looking ahead to this busy Saturday, Tuesday run of fixtures we have, a tough point of the season. It just seems like it's been like this all season, doesn't it? We're used to the Premier League with those less games, and suddenly the fixture list looks mad at the minute.
Yeah, it's more exciting being here, right, playing all these games, and then you look at the Easter schedule, which is even worse. I think it's a Saturday, Monday, or even a Friday, Monday. It's crazy, but we've got the squad for it. We really have. I think this is the time of the season where I know there are a few groans, and I may have even been on that list where there was the rotation early in the season. Maybe it's just brilliant management. Maybe he's as good as we've always said he is, and he's done it for a reason, because we've got a full squad. And if he can use it right now, you know, we can really push on.
In a few seasons, we'll be back in Europe, and then it'll be even more difficult. So we'll look forward to that, hopefully. Right, let's hand over to Glenn Wheeler, who's chuckling in the background at my comment about Ipswich Town playing European football again. You're going to take a look at today's opposition, Glenn. Over to you.
Well, I know you had a few problems with mathematics earlier in the show, James, but according to my calculations, Swansea City boss Vitor Matos has made 5 changes to the lineup that started Tuesday's dramatic late draw against Preston North End, with co-owner Snoop Dogg treated to a 95th minute equaliser in the Welsh second city. Having kept 3 clean sheets in his last 5 appearances, Chile international goalkeeper Lawrence Vigouroux continues his record of starting every league game so far this campaign. He'll be protected by a back four that includes Cameron Burgess, who made 127 appearances and celebrated back-to-back promotions during his 4 years as an Ipswich player. In midfield, Marko Stamenic returns after serving his 1-game suspension for receiving 10 yellow cards, whilst Eom Song and Brentford loanee Gustavo Nunes start in the wide areas. The big news, however, is up front. Liam Cullen scored the aforementioned late equaliser against Preston in midweek, and the Swansea Academy graduate is rewarded with his 14th championship start of the season. That means that on the bench is the league's top scorer, Zan Vipotnik. And there was surprise at that in the media suite when the teams were released at 1:45. The Slovenian has 18 goals in all competitions.
Glenn, thank you very much indeed. A detailed report of our opposition as always. Just a quick question for you, Glenn. Snoop Dogg, big fan?
I haven't listened to too much of his stuff, notably, and I don't know if Westy knows this, I'll educate him, Luka Modric is also involved in the ownership group at Swansea City.
Luka Modric, Snoop Dogg, I still think we win with Ed Sheeran.
Definitely. Ben, I've seen Ben on the dance floor, he loves a bit of Snoop.
Does he?
Dropping like it's hot, I've seen it.
Glenn Wheeler on the dance floor, there's something I didn't think we'd be talking about today. Right, let's turn our attention back to the playing squad. Darnell Furlong is with Sam Carter. Over to you, Sam.
Darnell, back home today in front of our fans. It must be a good feeling.
Yeah, really nice to be back. It feels like ages since we've been here. So yeah, just can't wait to get out there, back on the pitch and put in a good performance.
An important result on Tuesday night. How important is it to carry on from that?
Yeah, definitely. We're going to need it now. It's an important time of the season for everyone. Teams come in and we're going to teams that are fighting for massive points for us and for them. So yeah, it's a massive result, and we just need to keep trying to build on it.
It was a good win for us away to Swansea earlier in the season. What threat can they bring us today?
A good team. We've really respected them. We always do. It was a tough game last time, even though it was a 4-1 scoreline. There was tough moments in the game. They've got great players. So yeah, it's just about doing things correctly and not taking anything for granted.
Thoughts there then of Darnell Furlong. We're getting very close to kickoff, so before we do, lads, we'll have to do this. Score predictions, what do we think is going to happen today? You nailed it last time, so we'll come to you in a second. Adam Tanner, what do you think it's going to be?
I'm going 2-0. 2-0 Ipswich. Goals from Clark when he comes on and Nunes.
You very smugly predicted a 4-1 victory when we played Swansea at the Liberty Stadium earlier in the season. You nailed it. What's it going to be today?
I think it's going to be a tight game. Really tight game. They're a good side, but I think by the end of it we'll wear them down. I think 3-1.
Okay, I love your predictions. They're usually pretty close, so we'll see what happens. Just a reminder that full match coverage is available in all international regions, so feel free to jump on and buy yourself a match pass. If you're unable to do that, then Glenn and Westy will be on commentary available to all Town TV subscribers. We'll be back on Tuesday when Ipswich Town host Hull. Curly will be your presenter for that one. Thanks to our digital partners Flexmise. Thank you to everybody working behind the scenes. All that's left now is for Ipswich Town to do their thing against Swansea City right here at Portman Road. Match coverage coming up next. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Just like football, business moves fast. And when you need funding, there's no time to wait. At Fleximize, we keep things simple. No penalties, no red cards, just fast, flexible business loans. We only ask for the essentials and you'll get a decision within 24 hours. Once approved, the funds are in your account the same day. Fleximize, let's fund your goals.
The Tractor Girls are back in town.
Ipswich have got us underway here at Portman Road.
When we started this, did we ever think we'd have a partnership with a football club? Absolutely not. This is beyond our wildest dreams. We pretty much exclusively hire graduates at Halo. We're very proud of our Suffolk roots. Halo's a pretty passionate, positive, enthusiastic place generally, but when you've also got what's going on at the football club, and it's just blending passion and enthusiasm.